Earlier this month, Kathy and I were at a conference with 800 Christian ministry leaders to learn about the effects of pornography and sexual addiction in Christians. We were absolutely stunned at how widespread this problem is and the devastation it was causing in Christians' lives. And as I learned about this problem, I realized that pornography, I think, is the only addiction that comes looking for you. Other addictions, you have to go and seek them out. You have to buy things, you have to go to places, but pornography comes to you. In fact, how many of you have been innocently searching the internet or surfing web pages and a pornographic image just pops up that you weren't looking for? Or it comes in a spam email, or a seductive image just pops up, arouses your curiosity, and makes you want to click to find out more. You see, pornography is always coming after you to lure you into its trap. It's just like the adulterous woman in Proverbs chapter 5. In fact, you can even substitute the word pornography for the adulterous woman. And you know what the average age of first exposure is? It's age 8, because kids are playing with their parents' phones and tablets. And so the parents want the kid to be occupied, and so the child's playing with it, and there will be inadvertently a pornographic image will pop up, arouse the child's curiosity, they'll start to click, and they could become hooked. You see, Satan wants to hook people as early as possible so he can bind them. And this problem isn't just a male problem. Women are involved as well, and we have to help both groups. 1 Peter 5 and 8 says that Satan is like a roaring lion looking for whom he would devour, and pornography is looking to devour you. But in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, it says that we are to be aware of Satan's schemes. And that's what this is all about. We need to become aware of it. You see, Satan wants to destroy you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And pornography is one of his most powerful tools to do that and to undermine Christians. You see, pornography has the same effect on the brain as cocaine and methamphetamine. It causes the same surge and release of the pleasure chemicals that induce cravings for another hit. In fact, one writer said that pornography is like injecting heroin straight into your brain through your eyes. But what makes pornography a little bit different and more severe is that with pornography, your desire for a bigger fix or a bigger hit increases much faster. So you become bored faster with the images you're looking at, and you have to find something more hardcore. And that accelerates rapidly. And so then people descend into greater and greater addiction and worse images, into violence. And eventually some of them start acting out what they've been seeing. So it's a very devastating. And also, when people come out of pornography addiction, they can have physical withdrawal symptoms, much like in the substance abuse. So it has a definite effect on brain chemistry. But spiritually, pornography is devastating because it drives a wedge between you and God. Because when you're using pornography, you have such overwhelming shame and guilt, and you want to hide from God. You stop praying, you stop worshiping, you don't want to go to church because you feel so ashamed before God. You feel that God is so angry with you. And Satan is always calling you back to your habit, always trying to increase those cravings. And every time you fail, he says, and you call yourself a Christian. So pornography has a devastating effect on your spiritual life. But the greatest effect that pornography has is on relationships. It devastates marriages. In fact, it gives you a very unrealistic view of what sex is. And it objectifies the opposite sex. And another very strange thing about pornography is that people tend to withdraw from real relationships with real people because a fantasy relationship with an image is easier. You don't have to adjust to someone else. The fantasy picture is just so much easier than a real relationship. And that destroys marriages and any kind of relationship. And then people who are caught in this, they're living double lives, and they're overwhelmed with shame and self-hatred and guilt. So it really has an overwhelming effect mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. But you don't have to stay bound. God is waiting to set you free and break your chains. And he is not angry with you. In fact, Jesus is standing in front of you right now with his arms wide open saying, "Let me help set you free." But you have to give him permission. But realize that his love is greater than your addiction. And he is waiting to set you free. But you've got to do something. You need to come out of the shadows, talk to someone, contact me, talk to one of the ministries that deal with this. I can put you in touch with some of the ministries online that you can reach out to. I'd be happy to help you. But don't stay bound. Now I want to hear from you. If you've previously been bound but been set free from pornography or sexual addiction, we want to hear your testimony. So just leave your story in the comment box below this video, because it will encourage someone else who's struggling with this right now. And if this is your first visit here, you need to get my free self-assessment guide. And to do that, just subscribe to my weekly email newsletter. And I'll talk to you again next week. But this week, come out of your bondage. You're not alone.